Hey, me and Matt here, and this is Killer Kyle.
Hey, welcome to Wheels of Fury. I'm Killer Kyle. This is me and Matt. And, well, let's see. What do we do here? Do we have a long-winded conversation about nothing? No, it's not going to work. Do we talk about things we have in common? Nah, that'd be boring. Do we figure out why the world is round? Nah, that wouldn't be any good either. I know, how about we talk about best and worst WrestleMania matches?
Yes, sir, it's that time again. Last year we talked about best and worst WrestleManias. This year we're going to talk about best and worst WrestleMania matches. So this year we're going to dive into matches. So we talk about this time best and worst WrestleMania. Then we're going to talk about best and worst SummerSlam matches. Then we're going to talk about best and worst Survivor Series matches, and so on and so forth. And then we'll think about something for next year.
Yep.
But this is actually pretty cool. I made a list. Actually prepared myself because last year I went on kind of a ramble. We actually watched last year's video. And
Yeah.
I put WrestleMania 9 as one of my WrestleManias. Oopsie.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off with WrestleMania 18. I'm biased, so I'm going to go all the way to the Skydome in Toronto.
Well, Matt's got a list, I've got a list on my phone here. By no means do we have to talk about the matches in order.
So if it's the same WrestleMania, well, let's say it's on a best list, then we'll just mash them together.
Sure.
So I'm going to do Hogan Rock, and then we're going to dive into the holds barred match, Undertaker versus Ric Flair.
Right.
So let's start off with
Rock.
Hogan and Rock, yes.
Hogan, yeah.
And interestingly enough, they interviewed Chris Jericho, and he was even saying that Hogan and Rock should have main evented WrestleMania 18.
Right.
And not his match with Triple H.
Right.
You look at a match like this, and you get excited because you have Hogan, and you have The Rock wanting Hollywood Hogan to turn face.
Yes.
Embrace the red and yellow. Embrace what The Rock had envisioned as a kid. He wants the old Hulk Hogan.
And be the guy that he was when he had been in the WWE previously for the last 20 years.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's kind of the way it should have been. And this match was pretty good. You had Hogan and The Rock who really pulled out all the stops. You had a pose down. You had the belt of Hogan. You know, you had Hulk Hogan do the rock bottom.
Yes.
You know, and of course the match went to the Rock. And you have Hogan staring at the Rock, holding his ribs and extending his hand. And then of course the Rock has Hogan instantly turn face. And then of course Hall and Nash come out because of the NWO. And they question why Hogan's being like this. They beat Hogan up. Rock comes in, makes the save. They whip ass on NWO.
Hall and Nash.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan does a pose down to The Rock's delight.
Yeah.
You know, I think from a personal standpoint, it's almost like Dwayne Johnson looking at Hogan.
Right.
You know, the fucking guy definitely idolized Hogan like Adam Copeland or Edge.
Yes.
And you got to see the smile on his face as Hogan was doing a pose down.
I mean, you look at it this way. As much as it was Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, it was Dwayne Johnson and his wrestling idol in the ring together. And I mean, they had a hell of a match, and for Rock to be able to shake hands with Hogan and get him to do the signature posing, and then of course you have Hall and Nash come out and question him, like, hey, where's the NWO, what do you do, and shaking his hand, and then beat him up and whatever. But just in that moment, it's like, essentially The Rock was fulfilling a childhood fantasy, wanting to have a match against Hogan.
Exactly.
And another really cool thing to say about this match was nobody was 100% behind Rock.
No.
Nobody was 100% behind Hogan. It was pretty much 50-50 the whole time.
Exactly. You could see them staring at the crowd. And you have Rocky chants. You have Hogan chants. My bus driver wanted to see the red and yellow come back. And he didn't even watch wrestling for years.
Right.
So it's very cool to see what transpired in that match.
And I mean, before they, like, just the two of them in the ring, before they even lock up, it was maybe a minute, minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes roughly, of just Hogan, The Rock, and the ring looking at each other, and the fans just going absolutely batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Just losing their minds.
Yeah. I mean, I saw my brother when he told me that, because he was there, he saw people were standing up. We have both picked the Intercontinental Championship match.
Yep.
We're gonna still stay with
WrestleMania 10.
WrestleMania 10. We've got the first match of the night. Bret the Hitman Hart versus Owen Hart.
Brother versus brother.
The Rocket, yes.
The Hitman and the Rocket.
And it's like, there was an issue at Survivor Series. Got the Harts versus the King's Court.
Yeah.
You had Owen Hart accidentally go into Bret Hart, who was outside. Bret Hart falls to the floor. You have the Hart family check on him, and somehow Owen gets eliminated. Bret runs for the team. Owen comes out, he's pissed off, and you know, they have a fight. They eventually talked it out. They became the tag team for a while, and they were going up against the Quebecers for the tag team championship. So the match happens, and somehow Bret hurts his leg. He doesn't take Owen for some reason. So basically the match goes to the Quebecers, and Owen gets pissed off and kicks Bret's leg from off onto his leg, and I think that was it. But anyways, yeah, so this match happened, and I gotta say, those two obviously had a great connection.
Yes.
I think their match at SummerSlam was a lot better, but these two had a really good connection.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm sure they trained with each other in the dungeon, and Brett and his brothers wrestled for their father's promotion in Calgary, and I'm not sure when it was that Owen first got involved in wrestling, but I'm sure they had exchanges with each other in the dungeon and trained with each other and worked out with each other, whatever. But I think one of the things that would be beneficial about being family and having a match is you could read each other really well. You know what each other's gonna do. You know what each other's thinking in at that particular moment, and you just go with it. Essentially, it's like having a match against your best friend.
Yeah, basically.
Just you know what each other's thinking. You know what each other's gonna do next, and you can have a great match. And they did.
And Owen won, you know, Owen finally beat Brett, but it was bittersweet though, because later on in the night, Brett would go on to beat Yokozuna for the WWF title. You know, it makes me sad to know that Owen never got the WWF champion when he should have,
I know.
you know, and like, the possibilities are endless.
Oh, absolutely.
We could have had Owen be a Triple Crown champion.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If that fucking accident didn't happen,
Yeah.
Owen would be Triple Crown champion. I guarantee you.
Oh yeah.
But this match at WrestleMania 10 was fucking amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
And even like the interview that Owen did after the match was very well done, even though it looks like before he did the interview, he had a sandwich with a little too much mayonnaise on it.
yeah. I make a joke by now, but that's not appropriate. Yeah, so I mean, it was a good show, and I would love to go to Madison Square Garden.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. My next one is going to be a rivalry that was very good throughout the later part of the 90s, and these two guys really had a beef with each other, and it all culminated with an Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12, was it? 11?
12.
12. Anyways, Bret the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels. This match was spectacular. And again, going to the point of telling a really good story, these guys told an amazing story in the ring together, and the fact that they could have a match and not have a single fall happen during the match, and like keep everybody interested and invested, and have it go to sudden death, and like there must be a winner, and have Shawn win the championship. And that's how you tell a really good story in the ring without using words.
Now, I'm going to talk about this later, but I have my views on it, so there it is.
Right.
Anyway, so speaking of Shawn Michaels, we're gonna go with WrestleMania 19. We've got Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho.
Yeah, it was actually a really, really good match.
And you go and you look at Shawn Michaels coming back from hiatus for a few years. You know, he's a changed man. And he's still young, actually, at this point, but
Right.
got Chris Jericho, and he's a big fan of Michaels. Emulated him through the years. Kind of had the same attire at times. Did the similar moves.
Yeah.
in this match, at the time, I kind of didn't like the same reason for the ladder match. I thought it was boring, but really, why would I think that? I don't know.
Short attention span.
Short attention span. I'm not a Shawn Michaels fan, but in actuality, this was an awesome match.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, they pulled out all the stops and they knew each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And you got, you know, Shawn Michaels doing the Boston Crab or the Walls of Jericho,
Yeah.
whatever. You have Chris Jericho do the Sweet Chin Music.
Yes.
You know, the match was great, but obviously Shawn Michaels was going to go out on top.
Yeah.
You have them hugging out.
Yeah.
You know, Chris Jericho's crying and shit. And then, of course,
Dick
Kick City, bitch.
Yes.
And, of course, Poetic Justice.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this was actually a really good match.
And again, go to being able to tell a really good story in the ring.
Yeah, for sure.
They put on, I would say, a masterpiece.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'd say so myself.
And to have it start off with like Shawn and Jericho interacting with each other, and Jericho talking about how he was a fan of Michaels for a long time, and then he didn't like the way Michaels was acting later on in his career or whatever, and became not a fan of his, and whatever it was. And then have these two have that match at 19 was very well done.
Oh, for sure. You know, and it's kind of like their matches in 2008 were awesome as well. A different tone, if you will.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this match definitely, you know, probably the second best match in WrestleMania 19.
Yeah, you can say that.
So,
I have next. I would say probably two of the most recognized luchadors in wrestling history. Two guys that were the best of friends, and the way the rivalry ended up being was kind of risky, but until then, it was just basically two friends getting in the ring and having a match and seeing who was the better wrestler, so to speak. And anytime these two got in the ring with each other, it was absolutely amazing. Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero.
yeah, I mean, this is, well, the problem that I have with this is it would have been a great match. Why did they not relinquish the tag team titles on SmackDown before the show? Because that would have made more sense, but no, we have to have them start the show, but they're tag team champions. I mean, yeah, okay, that's just pins and needles. But this was a good match. I just don't know why they had to do it that way.
Yeah.
Their shit way back, you know, yeah, it was tasteful whatsoever. And you've got little Dominic, who's now gigantic Dominic.
Oh, I know.
And the whole I'm your pappy thing.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, this match should have been just them. Their titles, just take the titles off of SmackDown if they're going to face each other. But at the same time, I do agree this was a really good match.
And even if you look at the work that they did with each other before WWE and WCW.
Yes. WCW, ECW,
Yeah.
CMLL, you know, it's, or maybe even AAA, but the fact of the matter is, these guys definitely were the best, and, you know, if Eddie kept his nose clean, it's kind of unfortunate the way that worked out.
Yeah.
And to see Ray back in WWE, and by the way, I did see that segment with him and Sheamus.
Right.
And just the holy shit, that guy.
I know.
But it goes to show you a difference changing your diet and exercising a lot more makes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, the guy's got abs now. Fuck.
I know, right?
But yeah, this was still a good match despite that one little problem.
Yeah, you look at Dominic though, and Dominic's probably actually maybe early 20s or so.
I don't know. That's funny though.
But yeah, see how tall he's gotten.
Holy shit.
Since the last time you seen him,
He's a lot taller than my brother, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, really, eh?
Christ.
Like, I mean, did have that one segment a few years ago with Ray and his wife, and of course Dominic and his daughter, and
Yeah.
it was his daughter's birthday, and then the whole CM Punk thing. And
That was funny.
he made mention about how that Dominic was already taller than him, and then you look at him now, it's like, even taller than you now than he was then.
Yeah. So, we have the WrestleMania 7 match we talked about before. And, yeah, well, like, that match also told a good story, you know. You have Macho King Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior. The first of two encounters with these two.
Right.
I mean, I started watching wrestling when you had Warrior versus Savage at
Yeah.
SummerSlam.
Yep.
I didn't know that these two wrestled in WrestleMania 7, although Macho King had Sherry in his corner. This told a good story. I mean, the fact is, Warrior was getting his ass handed to him, and he keeps looking at his hands.
Yeah.
You know, like the gods or something is screwing with him. But you have Warrior win the match. Macho King is out. Sherry kicks his ass. Elizabeth comes out. She fends off Sherry. Macho King gets up, and you know, the rest is history.
They hug, there's not a dry eye in the crowd. And,
No, even I got choked up watching that shit.
yeah.
You know, and it's true. I mean, it's kind of hard to watch now, only because all four of these people are no longer with us.
Yeah, I know.
So it's just the way it is. But
Yeah.
you know, Macho King would leave, come back as the Macho Man, and yeah, there it is. But this was a good match.
Oh, yeah, for
And
sure.
This was really, you know, Macho Man, from what I heard from different wrestlers, is he was so easy to work with. Yeah, he had an OCD problem, but yeah, it was so easy to work with.
Yeah.
Did whatever was asked of him, I
Yeah.
guess.
And I think major thing about Warrior is, yes, he may have had issues with demanding more money before a match and threatening not to go out and have the match if he didn't get paid. And there's talk about him doing steroids. Whatever. Fact of the matter is, Warrior was a great wrestler. He could pretty much wrestle anybody, and he also did work with, I think it was the Make-A-Wish Foundation,
Yeah.
and just an all-around great guy.
Oh yeah, you love kids, you know, and that was good too. That's what you want if you're that kind of, you know, Make-A-Wish person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Talked, made mention of this a little bit earlier, but why not divulge a little bit more into it? Kane and the Undertaker.
Oh yeah, which one?
Pick one.
Oh shit. Well, you got WrestleMania 14, and yeah, this was like Paul Bearer being on Kane's side
Yeah.
and Undertaker, them trading tombstones.
Yeah.
You know, well, first of all, let's talk about Pete Rose. So he introduces Kane, you know, well, he introduces the match, but he's talking smack about whatever city they were in. So
Boston, I think. It
yeah,
was.
I was just thinking that.
And talking about how he left tickets for whoever the manager, I think, or whatever it was of the team at the time, and couldn't bend over to pack him up, and he's ripping into the city and all this other stuff, and then Kane comes out and in a matter of 30 seconds picks him up and spikes him on his head.
Shit, that's funny. Yeah, so I mean, this was a good match because, you know, Undertaker had to do 3 tombstones in order to win.
Yeah.
That's not really heard of with the Undertaker.
No. No other celebrity in the history of WWE has gotten beat up more by Kane more times than Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that poor Pete Rose.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, when you look at WrestleMania 20, the match, you have the whole thing on Survivor Series where McMahon versus the Badass. Undertaker gets buried for good with the help of Kane.
Yes.
Kane held a eulogy on SmackDown. And, you know, there was talk, okay, he's coming back as the dead man. Who fucking knew? So, you know, WrestleMania comes out. Kane gets into the ring. The lights go out here. Oh, yes! And then the Druids come out afterwards. And then out comes Paul Bearer and the Undertaker that has the hat, you know, and his hair's still short.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Kane acting all scared.
His reaction was what made that so good.
It's not real!
You're not real. You're not real. Then he slowly walks over to him, reaches out and touches him. Boom!
Yep, there it is. But yeah, this was a pretty good match, I gotta say, too. I mean, Undertaker and Kane always had good matches in their prime. You know, I mean, you look at the match with DX last year.
Yeah.
4
4 guys close to 50 or pushing 50
Yeah.
entering. I mean, it was like all 4 of them could still go, but it didn't really live up to what these guys can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways. We talked about Taker and Flair. I should have. I don't know. That was WrestleMania 18.
Right.
Oh, never mind. So there's actually 2 matches that I want to talk about, and we're gonna mash them together, just like the last one.
Yep.
First one, let's talk about WrestleMania 17. Let's talk about first the triple threat take team TLC match. It's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my! You've got the Dudleys versus Edge and Christian versus the Hardys. This match was awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's no shortage of chairs, no shortage of tables, no shortage of ladders, and
No shortage of carnage.
no, man, that was just, it was the best, you know, they put their bodies on the line, and holy shit.
Yep.
And the classic, you know, Jeff Hardy just hanging up there, and Edge goes on the top rope. He doesn't even plan to do it, but he did it anyways. He spears Jeff off, lands, hits his head on the mat, and you have him, you know, stand up and fall down.
He was
Sit up and
goofy.
fall. Yeah. You got Lita, Rhino, and Spike Dudley got involved.
Yeah.
And it wasn't without Rhino and Edge up onto the ladder and grabbing the titles, and they win the match.
Yeah. And of course you got Edge spearing Lita and she came pretty damn close to hitting her head off of one of the ladders
yeah.
on the ground, on the floor, and then Spike getting taken for a ride through the table.
Oh, now you want to talk about a match where you had no idea what was going to happen at the end. A big shocker. You know, and McMahon said after his match with Shane, you want shocking? I want shocking. And the fact is he had his match with Shane, he lost. I could have put that on the list, but this match had to be on the list because it's The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Austin win the Rumble. I'm an Austin fan. You have The Rock, who's the WWF champion, beating Kurt Angle. Then you have the swerve where McMahon's like, okay, Deborah, Austin's wife, is going to be in The Rock's corner.
Yeah.
Which I thought was stupid, but
Yeah.
you got the epic showdown where they're face to face. And Austin's like, I need this more than ever, more than you can imagine. So the match happened. It's a no holds barred match, which I guess was a sudden change.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was an inkling that you knew that Austin was going to turn.
Right.
But McMahon comes out in the middle of the match, and somehow, and for some reason, King and JR have no clue what's going on. You know, McMahon's handing Austin shit to beat The Rock with.
Yeah.
You know, Rock basically gets his ass handed to him. Austin keeps hitting him with steel chairs in order to become WWF champion.
Right.
And then you got the classic. Austin sells his soul. And so, yeah. That was another shock of the night. You want to talk about, I can't remember what your match was. Where was this? Oh, no, that was the swerve.
Right.
Austin versus Brett. So,
Yeah,
I mean, this match was awesome.
Yeah. I just put this on the list because there wasn't really one particular match that was my favorite from WrestleMania. I just really liked the concept, I really liked the idea, and the matches were really, really good. The Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it was a good concept. You look at Chris Jericho, who basically started the match and the idea, and unfortunately never won Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is probably the best, and unfortunately, like I've mentioned last week or so, taking a stipulation match and making it a whole pay-per-view is bullshit.
Yeah.
But that was something special, because they run the thing at WrestleMania. You can have a championship match anytime you want.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So,
Next, I've got where the Austin era began. Austin and Michaels.
I was 14.
Oh, 14.
Oh,
right?
okay, so we didn't. Okay. Austin and Michaels, yes.
Yeah.
With Mike Tyson.
As the guest enforcer. Now, this match was quite well done. You got Mike Tyson at the Royal Rumble, kind of just watching, and he's talking about how he's been a fan of wrestling for a long time, and he's a big fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you go on to a Monday Night Raw, and you have the face-to-face, like, it was announced that Mike Tyson's going to be at WrestleMania, and then you have Austin come in, who's like the baddest man on the planet versus the toughest SOB in WWE, and that whole encounter, and then it leads up to Tyson becoming somewhat of a member of DX and a lot open workout and all this other stuff. And the match comes around for WrestleMania. It was a very good match. They both, Michaels and Austin did very, very well. The finish was definitely unique. You got Michaels going for sweet chin music, Austin going for the stunner, twirly whirly dee, dip dee doo, and then Austin finally gets the stunner, and of course the referee's unconscious on the floor or whatever, and so Tyson gets in the ring, makes the 3 count. Austin is the new champion, and of course he's wearing a DX t-shirt, and somehow I think Austin got one of his shirts and gave it to Tyson, and Tyson's holding it up, and Michaels rips it away from him like, what are you doing? You were on our side. What the hell are you doing? And then Michaels goes to punch Tyson, and Tyson knocks his ass the fuck out.
Oh yeah, I mean, one of the things that I guess everyone knows now is that Michaels worked with an injured back.
Yes.
And, you know, being injured at Royal Rumble, and unfortunately, the way he is, not getting it treated.
Yeah.
So, working a match, and of course, losing, you know. And this was actually the last guy to win the Eagle Skull Championship.
Yep.
So, that was interesting in itself. But yeah, you know, you look at this match and you think, yeah, 2 Texas guys going at it, and yeah, Austin was the better man.
Yep. Sticking with Shawn Michaels, how about going to Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels?
This was a good match too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say clinic, but this was a good match.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Because, you know, I mean, Angle brings out the best in a lot of people. Just ask Lesnar. And then you got Shawn Michaels, who's quote unquote Mr. WrestleMania, so. Yeah, I really enjoyed this match myself.
Yeah, yeah. And to think, like, Shawn Michaels has generally been one of the best technical wrestlers in WWE, and then you got Kurt Angle being the Olympic freestyle wrestling gold medalist, and basically negating Michaels' wrestling skills was like, holy crap, really?
Yeah.
Like, not saying that Kurt Angle was a better wrestler than Shawn, it just seemed that Angle knew how to one-up Michaels, you could say.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about this match, I think it was last week. I don't really think there's a whole lot more to talk about, but I just put it on the list because I don't know about necessarily best match per se, but it was definitely a very good match. Punk and Taker from...
Yeah, WrestleMania 29.
Yeah, 29.
And yeah, we did talk about it when we talked about our look back at WrestleMania 29. And
Yeah.
This was a good match. Like, I really enjoyed the promos that led up to it.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there it is.
And last but certainly not least, might be a little bit of controversy to this match, but I felt it was actually a very good match, very well done match, and definitely helped propel the career of one of the guys a little bit further, and kind of put the other one over as a really good heel. But Cena and JBL.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, this was cool. I mean, you have 2 guys, and this is when you had the world title and the WWE title, and you had Batista and Cena do the classic fall out of the ring, both feet on the ground. You gotta declare a winner McMahon comes down, blows both his quads. Restarts the match. Yeah, you had, Triple H and Batista, but this match definitely. You wanted to see Cena be the WWE champion. He was already
Yeah.
United States champion. Yeah, the belt looks stupid, but that was the birth of the spinner belt, basically.
Yep.
But I mean, that was Cena's thing, and so I mean, to see this match, it was very cool, and it was almost shortened in a way for some reason.
Yeah.
But no, this was a good match.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And we're gonna cut this video short. We're gonna talk about the worst WrestleMania matches. I don't know about Killer, but I definitely have a couple doozies.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in a minute.